like it.
Oh, there are 4 over here, so.
That was awesome, by the way. That was very cool.
Emoji ones, yeah.
Never seen that before. Anyway, hi. Thank you for joining us for the 240 hours. 10 hours left. Oh my god.
11.
Including this
Sorry. Nan's sore. Quickly run through a few things before we start. I'm sure you've heard this all evening. It's fun. So this performance, like all of our performances, is a relaxed performance. So that just means we've got a relaxed attitude to any sound from our audience members, just for the benefit of anyone who might not be able to be still or silent for the duration of the piece. If at any point you guys do want to pop out for a bit, feel free to head through the door at the back, come back in whenever you want.
Hey,
Likewise, if you wanted to get it right
look who's back.
back again.
No.
There will be no loud bangs throughout the performance, but there will be some like background music throughout, and the lights should stay like this, but they have been going out. If that does happen, one of us will run and put them back on as quickly as we can. I'll be over here, so just give me a shout if you need anything, and we've got some audio loop headsets as well, so if you would like to use those, again, just come and give me a shout. I will pop over to Leo here for the last hour of this evening.
Thank you very much. Hi. My name is Leo. I'll be your games master for this last hour of today. That is standard, isn't it? What is this? What's going on? Well, this is Adventurers Wanted, a role-playing game, tabletop role-playing game, which means that the 4 people on my left and right here play unique individual characters in a fantasy setting. As the games master, I play the fantasy setting, so I play the allies that they meet, the enemies that they create, and the peasant children that they resurrect. Oh, and indeed the beers they spill for the stream. Although that's captured for posterity. Anyway, fantastic. We got blue roll on the way. So. We interact with each other by using dice to keep things a semblance of fair, sometimes hilariously unfair, depending on what the dice say. The dice tell a story. Yeah. Now we've got 239 hours of backstory, so I'm not gonna try and catch you up in 30 seconds or so. But a quick précis. Is that all of the characters are crew members on the Spirit of the Horizon, a scientific research vessel, which, in trying to escape an ancient evil god that they awakened, cast a spell that was way too powerful for them to control, flung them into a brand new reality. And in the last 2 months in-game, they've been trying to escape back home by recreating the spell and going home. This morning, they managed to recreate the spell, but it didn't send them back home.
Oh.
It brought Cthulhu to them. It brought this ancient evil god back to them. So now they've realised that their home has been destroyed and is a wasteland. Their commander died casting this spell as well. She gave her life to cast this spell, as well as Bella also died casting the spell. And they swiftly sailed away to try and find some allies. They arrived at the Thundercrest Caldera, had a quick fight with some horrible eldritch things, and have just met Queen Abelzim, the Queen of Luness, at the gates of her palace, where a small stronghold of Luness fighters, Luness City Guard, and hopefully some citizens have been saved. The very last thing that happened was they were welcomed into the palace by Queen Abelzim.
I got shot by 3 of them.
That was your own fault.
You'll see why in a minute. So why don't we introduce our characters? So tell us your name, your character's name, and give us a little bit of their backstory for us.
So my name is Oz, and I'm playing the part of Darkness Evilvile, the HR representative.
That's why they shot him.
Yeah.
Everyone can recognize
pure
them.
black armor going, Darkness arises.
I think it was more like darkness has come for you. Or
Yeah,
something
don't
like that.
for you. Yeah, and then, you know, they misunderstood the perfectly good welcome.
We've just been attacked by Eldritch Beast, scared of that. Wonder why.
Jamie.
Hi, I'm Jamie. I am playing Liabilitas, the Dragonborn cleric of the crew. I am the clumsy sailor, and I have a massive workload for the lack of sailors that we have on this ship, and the abundance of cooks.
Yep.
And
It is his fault as well.
I know. We're all,
my job, right?
but we're all extremely well fed. Hi, I'm Naomi. I'm playing Brina Froddle. Brina is the head of arcane research on the ship and an actual useful person. Well, to be fair, everyone here has a useful job today, so that's good. Sometimes we end up with like 2 stowaways, and it's like, okay, great. She's head of arcane research. She's a gnome wizard. She's about 2 foot high. For your visualizing when she does things that look cool but would be hilarious because she's tiny. And yeah, she's having a time of it. She was on Mission 0 when they first went into the Cthulhu's temple and got the tablet and stuff. So she's, you know, she's dealing with it. Not well.
In her own special way.
Yeah.
My name's Ed. I am playing Gwendolyn Skull, who is a...
Gwendolyn Skull fans in the crowds.
Here's some Gwendolyn Skull for all you Gwendolyn Skull fans.
He is a half-elf fighter and also the master of the Spirit of the Horizon, which means that everybody who is a civilian on the crew is technically under his control. This hasn't happened very much.
Brina listens to him.
Yeah, which is lovely, but I think
But
it's the
Brina
exception
is actually,
rather than the rule.
ironically, one of the military officers on the ship.
Exactly, and yet she doesn't... Anyway, but yes, he also has a skull painted on his face.
Now, a lot of backstory came out there. If there is genuinely, I mean this, if there is anything that you feel is going over your head, please do let us know. We can slow it down, try and explain things. We try and be as accessible as possible. We don't want to scare you with all these in-jokes that we're throwing around. Cool. So, can I get some... well, it's got to be melancholy, but it would also be nice if it were grand.
Grand melancholy.
Grand melancholy.
I think there's like an eerie ethereal one.
Oh!
Not English. Can't make that joke.
Thank you. Oh, grand and ethereal. Yeah, it works perfectly.
I thought you said
sure.
Imperial, in which case it's really going to be the Imperial March.
No.
Disney own it now, don't.
We're live on the internet. So
They'll find us.
Disney will find us.
They have lawyers, it's scary.
So, yeah, I know. Anyway,
Every last
guys, come on.
Yeah, fair enough.
I know it's the last hour. Let's try and reel it in. So, you are welcomed into Queen Abalzim's court. She is tall. She's about 6.5 foot. This beautiful sort of silvery hair. She's in this wonderful blue silken dress. Gwendolyn, what were you doing the moment before you were teleported into this situation?
I was telling off a cook for having managed to get my iced buns wrong. I've demanded a thing of iced buns.
This explains so much.
I need at least 2 pastry chefs, thank you.
And at this point, the gold energy that you are so familiar with plays across your skin.
This is not over. I am coming back and getting the ice buns. Oh, no, I'm going.
Gwendolyn, what
And
are
then
you
suddenly-
talking about?
Suddenly, Timon and Cassie are replaced by Gwendolyn Skull, the master of the ship. Queen Abalzim has seen this happen quite a lot, and merely raises an eyebrow and looks around and says, "Have you met Abalzim yet?" No.
Sounds wonderful.
He goes, "That's an interesting face paint you have there." And she has a pale skin, and there's something quite ethereal behind her eyes. She has a touch of celestial around her.
Madam, my face is as nothing compared to yours.
Do all of the ship's crew flirt constantly with
Apparently
everyone?
so.
No,
Why?
I do not.
To be fair, Darkness is our HR rep, so if you have any qualms...
Clearly,
Please
Mr.
don't
Dark.
make him give me another pamphlet.
I slightly
Clearly.
have a pamphlet that says respect for all genders.
Entirely.
Clearly, you have been slacking in your duties, Darkness. Almost every member of the crew that has come to see me insists on flirting
It's incredibly frustrating.
I turn around to the expanse of the world behind me and just go.
Yes, this is how I feel also. Well, here we are. Brina, we have met. It's lovely to see you again. What's your name?
Hello, I'm Liabilitas.
Liabilitas.
Excuse me, I have a
I'm
thing
so
I need to
sorry,
do.
Your
Sure,
Majesty.
what do you do?
I would like to try and get some divine intervention.
Wow, who's your god? Oh,
Poseidon.
Poseidon, yeah.
Specifically to try and heal up as many people who are injured within the fortress as possible.
Wow. Okay, so to be clear for the audience, just so we get the right level of tension in the room, he's rolling on 100-sided dice. Don't ask how we do it. We work it out. 100-sided dice. He has to roll a 15 or lower. So there is a 15% chance that
I have done it before.
he's trying to
It was a complete waste of time the last time.
he's trying to contact his god in order to try and get people healed.
It's like this, there are double digits and single digits.
Yeah,
and
no, because I just...
It doesn't matter. Go for it.
No.
No. Okay.
See,
I
beforehand,
rolled
though,
76, so.
it would have been 15 because they fell out my hand earlier. Fucking wasted the roll.
Can't use that, can you?
No.
So you cast your mind towards Poseidon, and all you hear is the crashing of waves. No answer is returned to you.
I'm still on hold. Fuck. In
Yes.
which case, I would...
Like, pretty question. He's a fire dragon. Why is he worshipping the sea god?
Because I'm a sailor.
There we go. There we go.
Also, probably to note, at all times, Liabilitas does have a small amount of moisture on his skin that smells of sea bream.
Also, he's not a fire dragon. He's a fire dragon born. I know it's a bit confusing. He's sort of half dragon, half human.
He wanted to reject his dad, you know.
He's
No.
not the last of the Dragonborn.
There are
Well,
many.
he
Do
has
you
a
have
brother
a Dragon Ball
who's
bard
gonna
called
But I'm guessing it's like your prayer is very important to us. Please call again. Green sleeves.
So you look up and you do nothing, and Abelzim is still there. And when you open your eyes, and she goes, "What did you do? Nothing's changed."
Listen, there's a lot of interference between us and them called the Celestial Gate. I'm trying to contact the gods to help you guys. You want to get all up in my business? That's
No,
fine.
no.
Liability.
Surely flirting is better than that.
No, listen, I apologize. A queen should hold herself in high regard. I have been somewhat stressed of late, as you may imagine.
I hand her a pamphlet saying handling stress in the workplace.
She does not take it. In fact, the pamphlet is plucked from your hand by a gust of wind and thrown over your shoulder.
Wow.
Your Majesty.
Without her moving. She's just...
Your Majesty, what happened here?
What happened? What happened? I should ask you the same question.
Yeah, that's fair.
Clearly you know more about this, I'm guessing, than I would. You rock up here.
Well, okay. I apologize. This is why I do not want to bring men with me on this particular landing party, because you're all like this.
I didn't get it.
Can you give me a pamphlet on gender equality?
Sorry, all the people who I have brought to this particular queen are like this.
Sorry, do you want to explain what you're doing?
As you turn around, Liabilitas is holding out a pamphlet on gender equality in the workplace.
I am not taking that. We thought we had the spell to get us home.
The spell you've been questing for this entire time.
It turned out it brought what we encountered at home here.
Which was
Not good.
clearly
What?
half my citizens are dead. The rest cloy up my palace.
If it wasn't us, there were two other groups trying to do the same thing. We can apologize, but
It was going to
it's
happen.
been done.
Furthermore,
It's been done.
while we're on the subject of your heroism, do any of you know about this floating rock that is above my city?
What?
Well,
Method?
Clathid.
What about
So,
method?
for you guys. The island they're currently on is a massive caldera with a lagoon in the middle. 3 queens rule over the caldera, different parts of it. The reason it's caldera is that long ago, an ancient dragon, while the whole world was flooding in what's called the deluge, ripped up the very earth that was the peaks of this mountain place and just lifted it 5 miles into the sky and just left it there, hidden by clouds.
So, you know there are clouds there.
The dragon has since been driven away, and the clouds have gone.
So you know there were clouds there.
Yes, there was the eternal thunderstorm after which our entire culture is named.
Yeah, that wasn't what it was. So essentially,
yeah.
what happened? Look, I'm a researcher. I'm a scientist. I apologise, but what happened is that when the deluge happened, this was ripped up into the sky by magic users. They took it up there, carried on studying magic, and there was a dragon who was emperor of this place. And I know it sounds ridiculous, but trust me. And the clouds were, the thunderstorm that you were experiencing were used by the dragon to hide the island. It's been there this entire time.
For how long?
When did the deluge happen?
About 200 years ago.
That long.
Well, it's been a week, hasn't it?
Yeah. Yes, it has.
So what do you propose, heroes of Havmar? What do you propose to destroy this evil that you have wrought upon us?
Well...
Oh, no, you go ahead. You're on a roll.
Captain Golan, Jeffrey Wigglebottom and I have...
I
Yes.
remember Wigglebottom.
And, you know, he is my assistant, so I am sympathetic with you on that emotion. However, he's come up with a rare good idea. Look, Golan was transported back to our world. I don't know if we visited you since that happened, but he's come back. He is aged 12 years, and where we're from is a wasteland. There's nowhere to go back to because of the creature that's here. We need...
You have my sympathies.
All we can do now is stop it from happening to your world.
That would be good.
Yes. So, thank you for your sympathies, but we now need your help.
Thought
We
as
need to
much.
we need to get everyone we can think of here. We're going to try and contact the Emperor Dragon who was up there. We're going to try and contact the wizards. We're going to try and contact the other dragon we know. The fire genie we owe.
Another dragon.
Yes, there's 2. Yeah.
You're complaining about us having dragons as allies.
I'm not. I just wish I had known they existed.
Well,
When
you're
is that ever an appropriate topic of conversation?
Every
Right
day is a
now-
school day.
Right now, because if you help us, you'll get to meet them both, theoretically. We need to gather everyone we know here and launch an offence. And the very last resort is... So there's orbs in Clathid. And if we break them, it comes down. Now that does mean that this part of the world...
Will change irrevocably.
But it means the
If
rest
you
of the world.
miss. So to be clear,
Yes.
let me just try and get my head around what you're suggesting.
Go for it.
You've just told me about this city that has been above my city for 200 years, and now you want to drop this city that has been above my city for 200 years on my city.
After we get all the citizens who are still alive out of the city.
If you miss, you will destroy not only the Thundercrest Isles, but you will create a wave that will wreck this entire part of the world.
Do you
But
have
if
a
we-
better idea?
No.
If we don't, the entire world will be wrecked.
Where is this thing now?
We left it at... When did we leave it?
Rawstorm.
We left it at Rawstorm. And Rawstorm will not be contactable.
How many survivors?
No.
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 In the range of 0.
Simeon, help us.
Who?
Her god.
The comic timing on that was great.
The cleric, that was amazing.
Who?
He's a cleric to one god.
Yeah, alright.
An entire island already wiped. We have no time to lose.
We need to get everyone here massive offensive. The island dropping is the last resort.
It better be.
Oh yeah. we
You came to the right person, though. I have people everywhere.
We knew we did.
Don't take that the wrong way. I have people everywhere.
No. Like, that's why we came to you.
I will message them all. And she looks over, and you can see her scribe has stopped writing, and now nods and runs off, and is followed by the. So the court has been full of people up to this point. It hasn't just been you alone in the room with the queen, and like at least 18 of them just follow the scribe out, and you get the impression they're off to send messages.
Have to do some magic.
Who else should I send messages to that I do not know about? I have people at the Black Cove.
Yes.
Do you think they are worth messaging?
There's nobody who's not worth messaging.
Yeah, Salty Jen's at the Black Cove. She's helped us before.
Salty Jen.
Yeah, I know, but she's helped us before, and I feel like if her life's in danger, she'll help us again. Libertalia.
Where?
Do you know of Dea or Tripmitty?
Tripmitty is a pirate.
Tripmitty has left piracy to free other pirates on an island called Libertalia, and we could very much use their help.
And Tripmitty will also die if we don't do this. There is nobody who is not on our side right now.
I get the point. It's an apocalypse.
We can't overstate, though, an apocalypse.
Fine.
An actual apocalypse.
We will send word to Coralia. We will send word to the Black Cove, Manara Jam.
We've got friends all of those places.
The Dragon Turtle.
Yes, we need Kelahani.
The Dragon Turtle? Kelahani was a myth.
Kelahani was real.
We nearly killed her.
Are you okay? Do you need to sit down?
No, I'm not okay. I am far from okay.
This is how we felt when we first got here. So thank you for easing that transition for us when we met you.
So, the giant dragon turtle from my children's stories
Is real, yes.
is real.
Is that Lich still alive?
No, thankfully.
Oh.
Is a lich ever really dead?
I draw the line at waking up the lich. That's in character as well. I draw the line at waking up the lich. I
We
draw
will
the line there.
we have sent word to Dara El Keel.
There's also in the Silver Peak there
Nagar.
was a fire genie that was trapped there who owes us a favour. If someone from the Silver Peak could,
We can contact other planes. Do you know his name?
can I roll a history check to remember his name?
Yeah, roll a history check.
You're going to tell me it anyway, weren't you?
I was, but roll a history check.
I'm good at history checks. I get plus 10 on history checks.
No.
18.
Ombarash.
Umbarash is his name.
Anyone else?
Moro.
Any other hidden mythical creatures you know about?
So Moro the dragon, Pelios the emperor.
Moro the dragon.
Yes.
Where can we contact Moro the dragon?
What was the island that Gordon was on? I was on that island. I was trapped.
Nubla.
On the island of Nubla.
Yes, it was a dinosaur island.
Yes, it was.
You didn't think we'd do this show without 5 hours of Jurassic Park references, would you?
Oh, ask us about the T-Rexes after the show.
Oh yeah. was that the hunter person?
The warden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should
she
we
was
call
trying to
this
stop the
warden as well?
No, we should not call the warden.
So not the warden,
Actually, maybe we
but
should call
yes,
Call
the
the
bronze
warden.
dragon Moreau.
Oh, we should call everyone. Call the warden.
The bucket helmet is just nodding constantly.
He has a lot of creature, and the Ariag are all there. That'll help us.
Griffins.
You mean
he has
Sphi-
griffins?
He did have griffins. Yes.
Is there anything else?
The Sphinxes?
Oh yes, the
Sphinxes.
Sphinxes on the Nif Island.
Nagar.
Nagar. I think that's everyone we've helped.
Cool.
I'm
So
really
you
glad.
just
Wait,
got.
wait.
Do you remember when I said I wouldn't give you
Wait,
a
the ice slap. What's it? The ice.
cold strike?
Cold strike.
Oh, we need the cold
And
strike.
then
Yeah.
you also have the people that.
We need to
The
get the-
scaly dwarf folk.
Oh,
No,
they're
that's,
dead.
that was Coralia.
348 hours of backstory.
There you go. That is every adventure they've done, pretty much.
And we do need to, but we do also need to get up to Clafford and talk to the wizards.
Word will be sent
Oh, okay. Great. I think that's everyone.
to the wizards.
Yeah.
Bring them down.
Now.
Wait, as in bring the island down or bring them down?
No, not the island. That's our
For
last
God's
resort.
sake, don't bring the island down.
That's only if we literally lose all hope.
What is the plan then? Gwendolyn, you are the master.
Yes, the concerted force.
Concerted force.
Yes.
That's an excellent plan.
Good. Glad to hear it.
I was being sarcastic.
Oh, really? Right. Well, you're exactly so. Is what I right?
May I make a suggestion?
Absolutely.
Those with ships try and corral the creature into the caldera as a way of trapping it inside.
I like how he's
Ranged
thinking.
attacks.
The island in the sky, the
Clathid, you called it.
Clathid, yes, should use all the wizards there. All of their firepower should rain down.
They'll be out of range. They're going to have to come down here.
Whatever, put them all over.
They're 5 miles in the air, yeah, they'll be well out of
They
range.
need to be down here. We launch a ranged offensive from ships.
Okay. And, well, someone's going to need to be up there to move the island if it needs to be moved, or to get the creature in the right place. We need the ships.
And we're going to need...
You could get the dragons to move the island.
Well, we could get them to destroy the orbs, that is very true. But I also think having 2 dragons fighting this thing might be more useful.
Okay, so, use
Or-
the ships to get it in place, use dragons to hold it, and then...
Or casters with Dimension Door in the orbs. Dimension Door out after they destroy the orbs.
So to be clear, by the way, not only have you turned up to tell me that you summoned an evil god to my world, you are now suggesting that you use my hometown as bait, as you drop an island from the sky on its head.
I use the same...
Perception or deception? Sorry, persuasion or deception?
Persuasion.
Persuasion.
22.
Nice.
I have to admit, I am touched that I was the first person that you thought of to come to.
The most reliable person.
Absolutely.
Don't lay it on too thick.
I have to say again, do you have a better idea?
No, I don't. I'm just... Do you not understand, Mr. Darkness, how frustrated I must be?
Yes.
What, to destroy your home? Yeah, very frustrated. I bet you.
Oh, I'm so sorry that your home was destroyed, or is going to be destroyed. We've come from
Your
a place
point
that's
is-
all gone.
I would
It's
like
all
to hand Darkness
gone.
a pamphlet called Respecting Your Superior.
That's one every hour now.
He takes it, and he puts it on.
No,
I take your points. Again, I apologize.
and
I walk
to be
across.
clear, we have nowhere to go, so
You
when
are
this is
more than
over-
welcome.
we'll be helping you rebuild.
I have already made you honored members of my navy and of my court.
We'll help you rebuild, and
Yeah.
we'll do what we can. Yeah, we've all got little silver. Sorry, we've all got little silver star badges. They're like sheriff's badges. Yeah, we get those.
Oh yeah.
So we get free movement around the top
You
of the
have
caldera that
been
we're
the
about to destroy.
single greatest influence for my trade network since I started it. But I can only hope that enough of you survive this ridiculous suicide mission to continue to be an influence.
Those who do survive will be very happy to live wherever you may put them.
Well, that is a plan then. I suggest you use the next day to put affairs on order, and then we launch an attack on a god.
Okay.
Is there anything further you wish to say?
Where's
And
your
look at
infirmary?
And she gestures around to her palace and goes, "The hospital was destroyed. This is now the infirmary. The Palace of the Moon is the last bastion that Luness has against these horrors that roam my streets."
Where's the morgue?
The streets.
There's no dead in here.
No.
Stop raising undead.
It's lovely.
I'm going to start toddling towards. Liability is going to start toddling towards the gates, and he's going to use the rest of his spell points for this day to raise dead.
Okay, cool.
Wow.
That is nice.
Yeah.
How
That's
many?
raising to life, not like some horrible zombie thing. Just
How many dead do you raise?
7.
7 souls are restored to
All
life.
young.
You're gonna all younger people.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to roll 7 d20 there.
While he's rolling, I'm gonna.
Well, actually, I'd like to hear the
Oh.
results. Sorry.
Persuasion, all of them,
Yeah.
so. 10, 15, 17, 20,
Go on.
13.
Go
How
on.
many is that?
That's 5 so far.
23. And 20 made up to.
Fantastic. 6 of the people come back. 7th, not the 7th in order as you roll there, but the one you rolled a 10 on.
The first one.
You just feel a sense of despair from the void. This soul does not wish to come back to the world that it's seen.
I'm going to take them all, bring them back to the palace.
Okay, fantastic. And the guards do their. They look at you with a sort of gratitude, but also there's nothing that's going to stop just an overwhelming sadness at this point as you lead these 7 in. Sorry, Brina, you were
Can I
trying
ask
to say
something
something.
about Port Trouble?
Yes, what would you like to ask about?
I just want
Port
to ask about the surrounding cities. Do you know what's become of them? Port Trouble and.
We have had no word from Port Trouble. My sisters, however, are my sister and my cousin are both safe in their own palaces.
And presumably you'll send word to them,
Yes.
but nothing from Port Trouble.
I've heard nothing from Port Trouble, personally. If you look out at the window, you can see it.
Can I have a look?
Roll a perception check. Goodbye forever.
It's an 18.
Here's
Can I-
another
can
one.
I take
No,
it?
you can't take it. It fell off the table.
That is the rule.
That's so rude. It's a 6 now.
All you can see is this haze. Like, it was a lot more pollution surrounded Port Trouble.
Yeah.
Port Trouble had another name, they learned, but because of what goes on there, the name Port Trouble just stuck. It's anything you want to do illegal on the Thundercrest Isles happens in Port Trouble. It's where they first met Salty Jen, who turned out to be a hag, like a literal hag.
sea hag.
Like a Baba Yaga level hag.
What's the herb code for this place?
Sorry?
He wants to go there on a stag do.
I'll give you some promotional
You should-
material after the show. Yeah?
You should probably wait. You should probably wait to see if we crush it with another island first. Yeah.
That's true.
It'll still be fun.
And at the moment, it is just plumes of smoke.
That's good.
From the caldera, yeah.
Anyone else? Anything you want to do?
Sorry, there
Abilities.
was one last thing.
Yeah, of course.
I'm going to use my divine channel. There's 75 hit points I can spread around.
Sure. And you just go from
These-
guard to guard.
Also, the people I've just resurrected, bring them up to them max.
What's your character's name again? Mother Teresa?
No, liabilitus.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, I remember.
He's
The
anything,
opposite of
anything
his
but
name
at the
today.
moment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's brilliant.
Just you wait.
So, I would like to go to whatever divine powered people they have here, clerics or paladins or priests or whatever they have.
Few of them remain, but there are a couple.
I'm going to ask what they do to protect the people against these things. Do they use all their power to heal? Or,
So the one priest that you go up to is wearing a very fine grey robe. On the back of it is hand stitched in a silver sheening moon, and he goes. He just looks exhausted. He looks drained, and he goes, I've done all I could. I've been up for 2 days, healing, protecting, shielding.
What is your god's name?
Zimian, the god of the moon. Very good, Jamie. The god of the moon.
Before this is all done, Zimian is going to want you, I'm sure, to push yourself that little more. I don't know what afterlife you people have, but if you have any sort of reward for work, I'm sure Zimian will reward you greatly. Now, what I would suggest is that instead of putting everything into healing your people after damage has been dealt, these creatures reach into your mind and rend it asunder.
We have seen this.
If you do not already do it, I would guide your paladins, clerics, and so forth to protect your guards against the evil with their holy power. This will allow them some ability to stave off this effect and give you just that few more guards who are able to hold off the few more of whatever these things are.
I understand what you're saying.
It's better that there are people alive.
No, I understand. It is wise counsel. And when my strength returns, then that is what I shall do.
I nod, and I thank him, and I wish him his own god's blessing, and I go to leave. And as I pass out of the gate, I notice on the floor the Dealing with Stress in the Workplace pamphlet that was played on, and I pick it up. And on the way back to the ship, I open it and start reading.
Could I also look into think about like when I was battling an aspect of a snake god and like, you know, all that kind of stuff. What kinds of damage fared better against them? To try and figure out what the best course of action is.
I'm gonna
Okay.
get a drink.
Roll. Yes. Yes.
I am so useless at this point.
Aww.
No, it's fair enough.
Do you want us to get into a fight?
No.
Are you sure?
Well,
May as
what,
well.
what can you do?
You
with
can
the
train the
civilian
guards.
people? You can
Roll a history check for me.
You could do speech, man. Speech.
24.
I do want a speech from you.
Yeah, we need a speech.
Speech.
Get a drink and then we'll do a speech.
24. Now, you've battled many different groups. 24 in history.
Yeah.
Jeez. You've
Plus 10, baby.
you've battled many creatures over the last 2 months, and you've become sensible to the fact that some of them are more vulnerable to various different types of attack than others. Obviously, way back on the island with the moss zombies, they were simpler times. Level 3 times. They were obviously vulnerable to fire, whereas other things have been vulnerable to thunder. Some have been vulnerable to cold damage. You remember 2 months ago when you first saw the old god Cthulhu in battle, as it waded into the sea. You remember as it picked up the behemoth of the ship Adamant and crushed it in its hands. And you remember the bravery of Stoutheart, the other ship that escorted you. And you remember one thing in particular about that. You remember that Stoutheart towards the end lost all of its ammo. It had completely wasted itself, and it just drove itself into the beast, ramming it with its forecastle. And you remember the beast screaming. You remember nothing after the beast screaming. But it occurs to you that if the weapon is large enough, this god does not like piercing damage.
Also, quick question. How much gunpowder do we have on the
So
ship?
bad.
How much gunpowder do you have on the ship? Not enough.
Alcohol do we have in the tank?
Not enough.
Not enough. Not enough alcohol at the
Never
time. On the ship at this point, you haven't actually been in too many ship combats, so I would say there's probably about 5 to 7 barrels of gunpowder.
I'm going to relay that information to Captain Golan that I remember.
Okay.
And let him do with it as he pleases.
Okay.
You must remember this information for tomorrow and relay it to Captain Golan face to face.
I'll just text him now.
Text him
I'll
now.
message him magically.
It's all in the mind.
Gwendolyn, roll an investigation check for me.
Right.
Thank you, Kat.
Investigation, you say? 8.
You just stumble around the halls.
I do.
Now, see, this palace is deliberately built for obfuscation. It's
Just my kind of place.
it is. The whole point is Abelzim designed it to tire people out so they didn't get to her court. and basically they'd be yeah, there you are. And you just sort of wander these halls going, does anybody have a drink? I'm looking for a drink. You're there. Drink, no, right? No, okay.
I need something to obnubilate my mind. Come on.
And eventually you're waved. It takes about 2 hours just wandering around.
Just stayed with me.
But you're waved over by one of the guards, and he goes, "Here, get your lips around that."
I'm gonna sniff it first.
Roll a Constitution saving throw.
I'm gonna enjoy this. That is a 16.
He turns to you and he goes, "We saved that from the grumpy Sariki. It's the fire one."
Oh, good. I'm gonna.
And you can you had a slight blocked nose from the pollution from the burning. Not anymore.
Any nose hair either. It's all gone.
And it's literal singeing. Like it's infused with fire magic.
That's cool.
I'm totally downing. Not downing. I'm gonna take a big swig.
Okay, cool. Roll a Constitution save for me.
Oh, that's quite good. That's 23.
23. You feel it go all the way down. And while you're not knocked out, that one swig, within about 60 seconds, you've got a buzz.
Nice.
Everything is going to be fine. Show me the damn god.
Roll a persuasion check.
Okay. 16.
16. And the people that you're drinking with go, yeah! Yeah! And you can tell they're all quite drunk as well at this point.
But it's really
You've
useful.
inspired them.
I would expect nothing else.
You've inspired them.
I hope so.
So, the next day dawns, unless there's anything else anyone wants to do.
How do we delay this battle anymore, chaps?
No, it's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Liabilities is just short rest, divine channel, short rest, divine channel.
Yeah.
Throughout the night to heal people.
Breen is going to make.
You awake. You don't go to sleep.
I do eventually go for a long rest, but
You said throughout the night, so
until sleep.
you give yourself enough time for a long rest. Okay, cool. I was going to say you're going to play with exhaustion there if you do that.
Breen is going to make sure every single magic caster, including Philip, I'm sure is very difficult about the whole thing.
Well, it depends what you're asking.
Make sure they all get like a proper night's sleep, like she's giving them a bedtime and they have to stick to it.
Philip's fine with that. Philip looks at you and goes, "I'm an elf." Philip is my character.
That's why I referenced Philip, because the other day you had to play like 5 different characters, all different people. And it was
Lieutenant Froddle, I am an elf. I require 4 hours of meditation, and I will have that 4 hours of meditation. If there's anything else you would like me to do in the other 4 hours, feel free to order me about. This is the time.
As long as it doesn't use your spell points, then fine. But we need people. I need you to find people who have teleportation spells that are going to be able to take out the orbs if we need to.
Quite
so
right.
They can take them out and teleport out.
Quite right. And I will spend the night making sure everybody reads up on the teleportation spell. And he pulls out his magic book and goes, "I must relearn this one for myself as well." And there you go. Yes, I just did that. I saw the eye you gave me from the back there.
Yeah, Breen is going to have a look at that too for an hour and maybe write it down in her spell book. Spend 50 gold on it.
It's 7th level.
In the stress pamphlet, I see something about taking control of your life and think about it for a bit. And I go to the captain's quarters to speak to the captain.
The captain's door is locked.
I'm gonna knock.
Who is it?
Darkness, evil, vile.
It's teleport. I need to ask Bruno a question.
Sure.
When Golan disappeared, did you remove the arcane lock from the door? Or did you leave it up for Relora's use?
No one actually asked me, to be honest. What I probably would have done is recast it and just, instead of having a password, just shaped it around Relora. So she's the only one who can open the door.
Okay, so you haven't changed that since Relora died?
No, I haven't.
Darkness, I would love to let you in here. But I'm trapped.
Seems to be a problem.
Wait, is Golan in there?
I hate to say this, because I know how stressed she is. Could you go and get Brina?
I
Please.
will after I say what I have to say.
Through the door. Through the door, fine, yes.
On this trip, I have endured a crew that is disrespectful.
I'm sorry, you
No,
mentioned
it has. Everybody has. No, everybody has.
I have
The GMs have as well.
I have tried my best, and while we cannot blame the crew for everything that has happened, it is too much for me. After the events of tomorrow, I quit.
And underneath the door, there is an officially signed letter of resignation.
Hey,
What's your notice period?
Darkness, under unusual circumstances, I'd think about trying to talk you out of it. You've been the best human resources representative that a ship's captain could hope to have. But if we both survive tomorrow and the days after...
Well, you have 29 days after that because the notice period is 30 days.
Sure, fine, yep. If we both survive the next month, I wholly accept your resignation. I think that's fair enough. We've all got to start making lives for ourselves on this world, I think.
So from the other side of the door, he doesn't hear anything for about 5 seconds, and then he just hears,
I'm saluting at the door. Now I'm walking away.
Salute accepted.
Okay.
Thank you.
You gonna get Brina? Or just leave
yeah,
her
I'm gonna
there?
come and get Raina, and
Brina!
Brina, sorry.
The captain.
I said that because that's what Chaz would have said.
I know.
The captain would like to be out, I think, for the final of everything that's happening here.
I'm gonna stomp my way up as much as a gnome can to the canopy and go. Now listen.
Yes, Brina.
If I hear my name yelled across the ship one more time, I have other ways of trapping you in much worse places, and I will.
Understood.
And I drop the arcane lock and walk away.
Thank you very much. And he walks out and goes to the prow of the ship and starts reacquainting himself with his pet griffin, Chansey, who I imagine is now large enough to ride.
Oh, just in time for the final battle!
Just in time for the final battle, because why not? It would be mean to have dangled that in front of him for so long and not allowed to do it.
He's been trying to fly it for so long.
He really has. The next morning, as I said, everyone, all of the races, the species, the armies that you summoned, the banners that you required from the east of the Thundercrest Isles are there, including the Nagar, including Kelahanu even, has turned up, and she pokes her giant turtle head out of the water. They've all turned out for you.
Are the dragons here?
The dragons... Moreau was to the west, and Peliel, you don't actually know where he went.
No, it's true.
But Moreau, you presume, would turn up. Oh, no, Moreau was to the east. Nublar was to the east. Yeah, so Moreau would be there, this gigantic bronze dragon who lands down in front of Gwendolyn and says, "It is good to see that you made it out alive."
It is a pleasure to see you also. I'm glad we are allies.
Those horrendous little dinosaurs really hurt.
They really, really do.
As the armies gather formation and set off away from the sunset at their backs towards the west to face a great elder gods, that is where we're going to end today's play. Thank you so much, everybody who's played all day. Thank you so much, those of you who've stuck around for so long to play, to watch. Thank you. I'll hand back over to Kat for our outro here.
Thank you all so much for joining us for this last hour on our
Penultimate day, and now there is 10 hours left.
There's definitely only 10 hours left. Feel free, please, to come back tomorrow. So as I say, we're doing 10 till 3 and then 5 till 10. So you come along and watch again, or if you want to play, you can totally play. That would be awesome. Player tickets can be bought down at Box Office or on the Sweet website.
They're going quick.
Yeah, we recommend if you want to play tomorrow, buy in advance.
Definitely. We are also streaming live on twitch.tv/adventurers wanted.
Hey, stream.
Adventurers for $2.50 then you can watch yourselves later. Yes, I am going to hand over to anyone over here who wants to do a quick plug for anything.
Hi, my name is Oz, and I run an online role-playing stream called Roll Out. It can be found at twitch.tv/OzMills. The video archive can be found at youtube.com/OzMills, and the updates can be found at twitter.com/OzMills. There are business cards there and at the back on a table. If you would like to try not to remember the URL and have a handy reference for that. What we try and do is we try to promote and give visibility to women and minorities in the role-playing game space. And it's good fun, and I like it.
I would just like to say about Oz as well. Oz has played with us for 30 hours at his own expense, and
he
he's
really
been
has.
a massive supporter of the show. He's been so lovely. So can we give him like a round of applause?
Yeah.
And you've been such a pleasure to play with as well. You've been creative and funny and hilarious. And am I correct in saying he's our one of our largest supporters?
Yeah.
Definitely. So
Thank you very much.
so much.
Thank
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah,
and an honor.
fantastic. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Ed, do you want to plug anything? Are you good?
I'm finished. I'm done.
Can you tell?
Jamie?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it, I think, Kat.
Amazing. Well, thank you all so much again. And as I say, please do feel free to come back and join us tomorrow. It would be amazing to have you again. But if not, have a great rest of your night, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks very much, guys. There is the wonderful thief in here just after us, of course, I believe.
Yeah.